As some of you may know, GDP is one of the most widely spread measures of economic growth. For the past decade and more, China has experienced an approximate 10% growth of its economy. Economists and scholars have raising concerns that the National Bureau of Statistics in China may be influencing these numbers to be in line with the 5-year plan published by the government. We have today on campus at ESADE, a couple thousand miles away, our famous economist Casper Christiansen, who is a specialist in emerging economies, to discuss the subject. So we are back here in Spain on the ESADE Business School campus. Mr. Christiansen, thank you for having us on your premise.
Well, thank you very much for being here.
As you may know, we're here to discuss the GDP Chinese numbers, officially published by the Bureau of Statistics. So for the past 30 years or so, China has been one of the economical wonders with astronomical growth rate numbers of approximately two-digit numbers, so 10% approximately. There's a growing concern amongst economists and scholars that these numbers may be unreliable. Do you have any insight on the issue?
Yes. It is true that China has been one of the economic wonders for the past 30 years with astonishing growth rates. But especially in recent years, there have been a growing concern that the GDP growth rates may not be entirely reliable. We see this primarily due to the fact that there is inconsistencies in the economic data. We see it especially in the GDP deflator, which is, let's say, the broadest measure of inflation. And it is behaving very differently from other countries. In addition to this, we also see inconsistencies with real output. That is output from real output from factories and from industry, which is not consistent with the economic data. So these are the reasons that we have these concerns about the numbers.
So there's in fact a lot of people talk about the influence of the government on the subject. Do you think that Xi Jinping and his predecessors might actually be there to dictate certain numbers to follow during their plan?
No, I don't think that they dictate them per se. However, I do not think there is a Chinese wall between the NBS and the Communist Party. The Communist Party publishes these 5-year plans every year, and naturally there will be pressure in all of the country to reach these. This will of course influence how the work at the NBS is done. Do I think they commit outright fraud? No, not at all. But there's no doubt that they listen to the agenda of the Communist Party.
Okay, and please tell us, what is the general climate on the subject? Economists, what's the research going for? Is there any alternative to that issue?
Well, basically we, like as I hinted at before, that you look at different proxies for economic growth, and especially railroad, electric consumption. We also see bank lending as good proxies, and all of these could be viable as GDP measures instead.
I think you've linked one of your most recent research on the subject?
Yes, I have. I have recently written a paper on this, which goes more in depth with both what the problem is and how maybe to mitigate some of the problems.
You can find this paper on our website. Thank you, Mr. Christiansen, for being here.
Well, thank you very much.
Hope to see you soon on the show again.